Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be covering objection handling. And with PTA, one of the things that we do a lot of is manage people's expectations, number one. But number two, in the whole sales process, we do get a lot of objections. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is how to handle them better. And that an objection or a no, it's never really a no. It's always a kind of, I'm not too sure. There's always a lack of clarity around why they say no initially. And when somebody gives any kind of objection, we always work on understanding that the person, they're still in that conversation. They have not walked out of the room essentially. And so them telling me exactly what's stopping them is what I'm trying to get them to reveal or to really say to me. Now, if any of you have ever done sales before and you've done a whole proper sales script and you've done everything really well, you've gotten all the answers, everything's going really nicely, and then you hit them with, this is how much it's going to cost, or this is the investment, and you get the objection starting, you need to understand how to navigate through that, because it's not necessarily something that needs to be of a fear of yours or anything that makes you feel like you're not good at selling. It's going to be the natural approach that somebody takes. It's going to be a natural thing that most people will give you because the fact of they're just not clear on what's going on or what the right course of action is for them. So the beautiful thing about that is it actually comes back to you and how you run the actual console and the clarity that you give them. Because if you can understand it from that perspective, handling any kind of objection moving forward becomes a lot easier. Daniel G always speaks about this. You want to go from the lion to the lamb very quickly. So a good example is any kind of person who's that lion, when somebody brings the objection of, I haven't got the money for it, a lion's approach would be, yeah, well, this is exactly why you got to do the program because we're going to help you make more money. That's not going to get the individual to kind of stay in that conversation with you and make them feel like they're actually being heard and understood. If you go and attempt it from a lamb's perspective, you literally are going to be like, yeah, don't worry, it's okay, we'll get to that, we'll talk about that. Let's just tell me a little bit more about what's going on and why you feel like that. That approach allows them to actually divulge the proper reason behind why they're feeling the way that they're feeling. So if Anna's here, I run through the entire program with her, I run through the whole sales script, she's given me all the answers that I've wanted, and then we get to this is how much the investment is part. Anna turns around and says, Anthony, look, I just don't feel like I can be able to afford that amount. I can do one of two things. Well, Anna, the reason why you're here today is because you want to be able to make more money. And this program is designed to help you make more money. So why don't you do it to help you make more money? Then you can afford it. That's the lion's approach. That's the real in front of a face approach. Some people do that. And I would highly recommend not to do that because all that does is put Anna on the defensive. Yeah? Who am I to tell her what to do with her life? Yeah. So the other approach, which is what I like, is the lamb approach. And I've always told you guys about the whole energy that you bring when somebody brings the objection to you. Don't bring your energy up because then you lose them. Don't bring your tone of voice up. Don't bring your pitch of your voice up because then you'll lose them because it sounds like you're getting defensive. So if somebody says to me, Anthony, I can't afford it. Anna and I do the consult, right? I'm sitting with her, I'm doing everything really well, professional. And we get to the investment part, and then she turns around and hits me with the, I haven't got the money. I don't get defensive. I don't raise my energy up. I don't go off the wavelength that her and I are on. I stay on it. But I change my approach. Yeah, look, it's okay. Totally understand. It's a hard decision to make when you're looking at that kind of big investment. But do me a favor, just tell me a little bit more. Like, tell me more about that. What will happen is then she'll reveal, 9 times out of 10, she'll reveal the real reason why she can't commit right now. Oh, look, I'm just not sure because I got about 4 or 5 other different things I'm doing right now. Bang, there's zero reason. Bang, you're back in the conversation. Yeah, you've gone from, I can't afford it, to, I got 4 kids that I got to take to school every day, and I got kids' sports during the week, and I got this, I got that. You got all those other reasons that are the actual reasons, not, I can't afford it. Because most people put up, I can't afford it, and then the objection is, or the response, is, okay, I understand you can't afford it. It's okay. That's just, well, it's okay. Thanks for your time. People think it's an easy way out of the conversation. Objection handling tells you that that's not the real reason. The first reason is very, very unlikely to be the real reason why they can't do something. The other thing that we hear a lot of in my time of doing sales, and I've done sales since I started being a PT back in 2010. So that's 16 years of giving a package to somebody and getting some kind of negative response in return that I didn't want. So handling that has gotten better over time as I've learned. The other thing I hear a lot of is, I just need to think about it. Have you guys ever got that before? Yeah, you would have. Sometimes maybe you. I just need to think about it. And so one of the ways you can go about it is think about what? Anna, you just need to think about it. Can totally understand. It's a big decision. It's not something that you can make sure straight away. Totally understand that. Tell me more about that. What is it that you need to think about? Is it, do you need a bit more information? Where can I support you more? What more information can I give you to be able to get you to understand or be clearer on what we're going to help you achieve right now, or what's included in the package? So when I give her that kind of question, her response would generally tell me the actual reason why she feels like she needs to think about it. Yeah, so because if you've spent an hour with me, tell me all your problems, tell me all the things that you need to work on. I've given you the blueprint and the way through. I've given you all the clarity that you need to know that you're going to get from your pain to your pleasure. And this is how we're going to do it. These are the testimonies of people just like you in the past, but then you still tell me you got to think about it. I know, and deep down you know, that that's not the real reason. That's just a front to get out of the conversation because something's not clear yet for you. Make sense? If you're clear and it's the obvious decision and you're clear, you're confident in the person's ability to support you, the investment isn't the issue. Make sense? Are you going to think about it? As soon as you leave the room, are you really going to think about it? Or are you going to go back to the 1,000 other things that are on your mind that you're thinking about in that day? You're not going to think about the program. You're not going to drive in the car going, I wonder if that program is for me. You're not. You're going to go back to, I've got to go run home, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to fix this, I've got to call that, I've got to do that. You're not going to think about the program. You're not even going to think about the PT that you sat in front of. Yeah, or that salesperson that you sat in front of. You're not, because everything else is more important. You just use that as an excuse to get out of that conversation, which is what most people do. So, again, your job's not to argue. It's to listen properly and give them what they actually need in order to decide, right? So, again, you want to stay engaged. You don't want to give them, don't feel like it's some kind of rejection, because it's not rejection. And you really want to request for some kind of clarity. That's why the tell me more question is so important. Yeah? Now, there are only 3 real objections: money, time, and trust. That's what I've been trained. It works. It's true. Now, the money problem, the money question is it worth what you're asking? Time, do I actually have space for this right now? And trust, will this work for somebody like me? Okay, that's the kind of stuff that they're always kind of questioning there. Now, we go through a 4-step framework, which is what I use with everybody that gives me an objection. And it works every time, every single time. Number 1, listen. You want to acknowledge the concern before you respond. So you don't want to jump and go, yeah, but you've lost the person straight away, because then it feels like you have to defend something. And when you get defensive and you have to defend something, generally speaking, it's because you're defending something because you know you're wrong, right? So don't give that energy off. So stay on the same energy as them. So if Anna looks at me and goes, Anthony, I just need to think about it. Right, cool, totally understand. It's a big decision to make. And these decisions you don't want to make lightly. I totally understand that. Just do me a little favor. Can you just tell me a little bit more about what it is that you need to think about? Where can I be able to give you more info? What is it that you need from me to be able to make the decision a little bit clearer for you? From there, I'll go with whatever she says to me in return. It could be, I just need to double check it with my husband. Okay, so you've gone from, I got to think about it, to I've got to double check with my husband. So then we should reframe. We shift how they see the concern with proof. Yep, I totally understand how you're feeling. Had a woman in exactly the same position as you that sat with me about a year ago, and she was very hesitant, just like you are right now. Similar stuff that she's saying to me, that you're saying to me. She's been with us for the last 12 months, and look at these amazing changes she's had. All right, so you reframe that, you shift her concern with proof. Yeah, so the whole reason why Anna is probably saying she needs to think about it is because something isn't clear yet, which means that what I've presented to her hasn't actually answered her question, or hasn't taken her from her pain to her pleasure, or actually hasn't been able to make it very clear for her to see that this is the right course of action. So I've got to do a bit more clarity work. You guys with me? Yeah, so the easiest way to go about it, and why I have that testimonial booklet there, is because I use it as a tool. All right, if somebody says, hey, I can't afford it. Hey, look, this guy here, he couldn't afford it either when he first started. But we did a few shifts. I worked out a package that worked better for him. Look at the change that we got him in 12 weeks. This guy's been with you now for 2 years. This could be you.
Could it also be the delivery and your tone of voice when you do it too? Because sometimes you could have that clarity and you have all your questions answered. Sometimes when people are talking, it puts me off. Like when they speak, sometimes they're a little bit pushy, I feel.
Hey, that's a personal thing. So if I've asked you, if you're going to answer, I have to think about it, and I'm asking you the follow-up questions to find the real reason. 9 times out of 10, when somebody goes, oh, if you feel that they're a little bit pushy, but they're giving you all the clarity that you need, and you feel that they're the right course of action for you to get you from where you're at to where you want to be, generally speaking, with about 98% of the people that I've ever spoken to, they start to go, you know what, his tone of voice, I'll get over that. He's actually giving me everything that I need, and it makes sense. It's a logical decision for me to start with these people because of what I'm going through and where I want to go. So, one, it's case dependent, and obviously what type of service you're actually seeking, number one. Number two, if you're really turned off by the individual, you wouldn't have inquired with them in the first place because you would have seen them multiple times before you actually sat in front of them, before you've even inquired. So that their tone of voice or that kind of stuff, if that turned you off from the start, 9 times out of 10 people wouldn't necessarily inquire with them. Do you get what I mean? If it's a company that you're inquiring with and you haven't spoken to anybody before, and it's for a certain product, one of two things can happen. You can just speak to somebody else whose tone of voice you prefer, number one, or number two, you just don't buy that product, but you get a similar product somewhere else. Does that make sense? Did that kind of answer your question?
Kind of.
Okay. We can delve into it later.
Okay.
Now from the reframe, we go to the shift, so the bridge, sorry. And then pretty much we move straight back to the next decision, which is, so I've given you all the clarity that you need. Do you feel that making a decision today is going to serve you with the health goals that you want to achieve? And you're asking a specific question because you want a specific answer, right? Don't ask, does it make sense? Don't ask, do you like it? Right? Don't ask these things like, what did you like best? Not what did you like best, that's a question to ask. Yeah, but the two things in particular of, does it make sense? Or what do you think? Don't ask that. Because our brains are wired to go for negative. If I ask you, what did you like best? I'm forcing your brain to look for something positive. So you just make that bridge. And then the bridge allows you to get back in the conversation, right? And then get you more towards that close. An okay closer, no, let me rephrase that. A really poor closer won't attempt to close after the objection. They'll lose the prospect, and the prospect will go somebody else. That's a really poor closer. An okay closer might attempt once to close. Get the objection, they won't attempt again. They've lost. A good closer will attempt maybe once or maybe twice or 3 times. A great closer will attempt like 5, 6, 7 times. Yeah, an unstoppable one will not stop trying to close until they get the close, right? And it's because they're so confident in their ability to know that what they're doing in their service is actually going to help the individual, but they just keep repeating this 4-step framework every single time. Because I've had people give me 5 different objections that all didn't make sense, but they just weren't clear. And they were just nervous and anxious about making a decision or committing because of a negative experience in the past. It took me 7 attempts at closing to actually find that the root cause reason was that. It was quite draining of my energy, but we got to in the end. Now they're my most consistent client. Does that make sense? So for me, I didn't want to let this person walk out because everybody that walks in, unless I deem them not worthy of us, or we're not the right fit for them, or they're not the right fit for us, then I'll let them walk out. If I know that without a shadow of a doubt, they need to be here and we're going to help them, I'm going at this framework until they give me their okay. But I'm doing it in a way where I'm staying on their level. I'm playing the lamb. I'm not doing the lion thing. I'm just playing the lamb. Are you guys with me? Yeah? So when everyone says, Anna says to me, or Julie says to me, Anthony kind of photo, yeah, it's okay, don't worry, look, we'll talk about the package price in a sec. Tell me more about that. I'm really busy and I'm really stressed out. I've got a lower back pain. It makes me nervous about training. So we've gone from I can't afford it to you got lower back pain. It makes you nervous about training. They're very opposite, right? But that's what people do. So I'm trying to get to the root cause reason. So tell me more about the lower back pain. How did that start with you? And we go around this whole thing, right? I have this client here, trained with the same problems as you with the lower back pain. I was anxious about training. Now look at her. She's doing such a good job, right? This is why we put out client, testimonials or client wins and victories for this kind of reason, right? And then we talk about that. So I've dealt with that objection. So what do you think? Are you ready to make the commitment to yourself? Does it make sense now? Is it the right kind of move for you in a positive way to have that real good impact on your health to start with us? Oh, look, I just need to talk to my husband. Okay, cool. There's your husband. Are they here today? Yeah. So he's supportive of you being here today, yeah? Yeah, he is. Is your husband supportive of you when you're looking after your health? Is he someone that wants to see you be healthy and look after yourself? Yeah, he is. So do you think he would object to you making a decision today and then going home and telling him about how great the program is for you and getting you to be able to look after yourself and transform your health and fix your lower back pain and do all the things that we spoke about earlier? Do you think he'd actually be upset with that, or do you think he'd be happy for you? See what I asked? Nobody wants to sit there and say their husband or their wife is a piece of shit, doesn't want them to succeed. Nobody wants to do that. Even if they are a piece of shit and they don't want them to succeed, nobody's going to tell a stranger that. Do you get what I mean? So there's ways to go around that question, but you're not going off their energy. You're not going, yeah, but come on, man. Like, we spoke for the last 45 minutes about you have to lose weight. Like, why do you have to check with your husband now? Like, that kind of energy, you just lose them. Do you get what I mean? Whereas if you ask the questions and you just keep on their energy and you're the lamb and nice and calm, you'll get what you want at the end, right? So I attempted twice in those two examples. I can do a third one if you want. Oh, I gotta just double check my roster. I'm not too sure about my time with work, what time I start, what time I finish. I don't know when I'm gonna train. Totally understandable. You want to make sure you can have a really good consistent routine and so you can get the results that you want. That's what we teach, 100%. So let's look at what time you start work. What time do you start work? Oh, I got to get up at 6. Okay, and you got to be able to do it what time? At 7. Okay, cool. So we have a 5 a.m. session. That could work for you. Get here at 5, finish at 6, be home by 6:15, get ready for work, be out the door by 7. Could work for you. Do you think it'd be a good decision for you to be able to do that 2 or 3 times a week? Do you think that would align with the goals you have and with the way you want to change your health and improve your health? Yeah. So I think it's a good time to rock and roll. What do you think? And I always do this. Welcome to the team. And they look at me like, and their hand is like, they want to pull it out, but they're nervous. But then they shake it, and it's almost like they've signed a contract without signing a contract because they've shook my hand. I say, welcome to the team. I'm so excited to help you. My team and I are going to change your life. And then I print out the paperwork and we do the whole deal. That's a third one. Do we do a fourth one? I'll do a fourth one because I feel like doing a fourth one. Somebody comes and says, yeah, look, I love the fact that I work in my roster, but look, I just got to make sure that my kids are looked after because I have afternoon sports. And I do afternoon sports 4 or 5 times a week. Fantastic. Remember how we said we were going to talk about the morning training? Let's make the morning time for you. You mentioned before in part of the console that I asked you, what's important to you? And you said your own health and having time for you and looking after yourself. Do you think that if you're able to look after yourself and you're a better version of yourself for the things that are important to you, do you think it'd be better for your kids? Less stressed out, less anxious, less worried, less angry, like you mentioned before? Yeah, I think I'd be a way better version of myself. So do you think you'd be able to handle the stresses of running around for them and looking after them and making sure that they're okay? Do you think you'd be able to handle that better than you are right now? Because you did mention to me that you weren't handling it really well right now. Do you think you'd be better? Yeah, I think I'd be a lot better. Okay, cool. So do you believe that it's a good decision for you to make today to start and looking after yourself? That's a 4th attempt at closing. Yeah, I think it is a good decision. Okay, welcome to the crew. Me and my team are so excited to help you.
You actually shake their hand.
I do it every time.
And they want to shake your hand.
They always shake my hand back. And if they don't shake my hand on the first time, or the second time, or the 3rd time, or the 4th time, or the 5th time, they're shaking on the 6th time. Do you get what I mean? Yeah? And the reason why I do it that way is because I just follow the framework. When you have a framework, it's why it's so important to have a script or a guide to follow, have belief in what you're talking about, follow some kind of framework. It allows you to not go, oh shit, let's talk about money. What am I going to do now? How am I going to convince them? Sales is not, it's not a game of, it's a game of persuasion, right? You're persuading people to make a decision. You're not trying to trick them into making a decision. Do you get what I mean? This is where sales gets a bad rap. People think sales or salesy or pushy is they just want my money. If you get that impression of somebody, it's one of 2 things. One, you've had a really negative experience in the past of somebody. Actually, it's more than 2 things. One, it's you've had a negative experience with somebody. 2, it's your mindset around money and making money and what sales actually is. And 3, which is the most important one that you need to understand, is that the way we perceive what making money or sales actually is.
Well, you're just trying to protect yourself.
Probably from a negative experience. right? So that's where, like, you know, if you want to protect yourself because you don't want to get screwed over, or you don't want to waste your money, or you don't want to invest your money into something that might not work for you because it's happened to you in the past, that's why you're protecting yourself. So that's from a negative experience, right? So, and that's totally normal, right? It's understandable. It's not a bad thing, right? You wanted to protect yourself. We all want to protect ourselves from negative experiences. So I can completely understand that. This is why you have guarantees, like powerful tools to use to get the sales over the line. Guarantees, testimonials, right? A really good ability for people to see what you do and how you actually follow through with what you say. Yeah, this is where all these things are really important to have, already banked up, ready to go, because if they're not banked up, ready to go, it's going to be quite hard for you to sit there and persuade the individual to get the goal that you want, which is getting them to sign the paper. Now, we want to listen and we want to acknowledge. So we don't want to jump straight to a rebuttal. So if Anna says to me, Anthony, I just don't know if I have the money for it. One of the things that she can say that I can't, one of the things I shouldn't do is go, yeah, but, right? I don't want to talk over Anna. I don't want to talk over the consult or the person in front of me, because what happens then is it means that I'm not respecting them or their voice, right? Which is not a good thing to do. And the last one here is you don't want to get defensive about the price or the process. So when I've spoken to people about pricing, I've seen their face go, shit, it's expensive. I go, yeah, we aren't cheap. I saw F45 down the road and they only charge $50 a week. I'm not going to go, well, fucking go there then. Go there, I don't care. I'm not going to do that, right? People do that. Why do you want to train there for? We're better. Says, if a PT or a business owner in my industry says we're better, turn around and walk out the door. Because they don't actually understand how to talk to people, number one. But two, they don't actually understand that what they're trying to do for somebody is so much more important, right, than trying to be better than their competition, yeah? What you want to do is you want to let them finish every single time. So if Anna says to me, Anthony, I just don't know if I can afford it. The pricing it's quite expensive for me. I'm going to let her finish. I'm just going to let her get it all out. And I'm already planning my response in a nice, calm manner, right? And the response is, going back to this part here, ask, tell me more. You don't want to, you want to know, you want to acknowledge, you want to stay calm, right? If I'm calm in a consult and her energy is like this, because she's like, I really want to train all my friends around here and I love the results, I want the results, but I can't afford it. It's hard, what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit there and go, I know, shit, what are we going to do? I'm not going to go up with that. I'm going to stay calm, right? I've seen it happen though, you laugh, but I've seen it happen, right? And to be completely honest, I did it back in the day. I'd be like that. And I'd be like, oh, shit, I'm going to lose this fucking person. And I could feel my energy go up with them. I say nice and calm, because what are we? We're the person navigating them through the storm. So if we're not calm, if we don't just understand and acknowledge and stay calm in that moment, we've lost our ability to actually guide that person through the lifestyle changes that they want to achieve, to be able to achieve the health goals that they want to achieve. We've lost the ability to do that, right? And that's essentially what they're hiring us for. Does that make sense? And the last one here, say that's fair. That's a fair thing to think about before you respond. And the reason why I say that is because it just acknowledges that what they're saying isn't stupid. It acknowledges that you're respectful and understanding of how they're feeling, which helps to gain trust. Yeah, it's not a. You're not treating the individual by talking like that. You're just being honest with them about the fact that, look, I understand that's actually a fair thing to say. Like, it's normal to say that. And I understand that you said, I appreciate your honesty with me. It helps to build trust. Now, you want to ask, you don't want to assume. So the first objection is really the real one. You want to ask a question before you answer and then let them tell you what's actually going on. So is it the investment or is it knowing that it will actually work for you? That's my favorite one. So when Anna says to me, Anthony, it's really expensive, I say, look, that's a fair question. That's a fair thing to say. I totally understand. It's not a small decision to invest this amount of money for this program or a program like this. But can I ask you something? I just want to know, is it the investment itself, or is it the fact that you don't think that the investment is going to be worth your while because you don't have to, or if you're actually going to get a result? And then she'll answer the honest question with me. Oh, look, I've done this kind of stuff before in the past and it hasn't worked for me. Cool. What have you done in the past? Tell me more about that. And then what they're going to give you is everything that you should not be doing with them when they train here. My coach didn't care about me. I didn't get a nutrition plan. No one helped me with exercising. I just jumped around. I hurt my back. Everything they're telling you is a side note for us to make sure we don't do when they start training with us. That's literally it. Make sense? That's how you can get more information without asking them for all the bad things that they experienced in the past. Does that make sense? And all I asked was, can you tell me more? The second thing is, what would need to be true for this to be an easy yes? And I love that one because it's actually asking for real black and white honesty, right? And Anna would say to me, Anthony, I just need to make sure that when I'm here, I'm actually going to get trained hard. Or when I'm here, I'm going to get the result that I want. And I'll just go back to the service that we provide. Well, look, the best way to be able to track your progress and get the result you want is a few things. One, you got to make sure you're committed. Two, you got to make sure you turn up at least when you're supposed to. When you're booked in, turn up. Number three, we're going to make sure that we track your progress. So we're actually going to see you make progress. Four, we're going to give you that nutrition guidance. We're going to check in with you quite frequently. And then we just keep going through different things. So and then you finish it off with, based on everything I've just said, we're going to hold up our end of the bargain. All you got to do is hold up your end of the bargain. Does this seem like a fair move for you to move forward? Okay, yeah, cool. That's it. Because you've made it clear now that this is how we're going to make sure that what they are getting is actually going to be true, right? The third one, if money wasn't a part of it, would you start today? So if somebody says to me, Anthony, I can't afford it. It's too much. I've got one of two approaches. And this is why we always start with the highest package first, because then it gives us room to move. And this is generally how I'm able to get them onto a package, no matter what package it is, right? And that's ideally the package that kind of suits where their budget's at right now. So I always start with the $300 a week one, which is the highest one. Great, look, our platinum package is amazing. It gives you A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. The investment per week is $300 a week. Or you can get a 10% discount if you pay for it for the 16 weeks in one go. Does it make sense? Yeah, I don't say, does it sound fair? I don't say, does it sound good? I don't say, are you happy with that? No. Does it make sense? Because it's either yes, it makes sense, or no, it doesn't make sense. It's always going to make sense because I'm not talking another language. I'm talking in English. Does it make sense? Cool. Ready to start? And they don't shake my hand. They go, look, I just can't afford, it sounds good, but I just can't afford $300 a week. That's cool, man. Totally understand. Totally understandable. Don't worry. Let's work out something that works for you. Where's your budget at when you think about personal training? What are you comfortable? What are you able to spend per week for personal training to get a fantastic service? What are you able to spend? And they'll give me a figure. And then all I need to do is work the figure in as close as I can to the package. So if they say, look, I can spend about $200 a week. Perfect. Perfect. And you see the whole anxiousness just drop. Perfect. That works into a really good package for you. This is our package. It's our gold package. Doesn't give you any one-on-ones, but it gives you fantastic PT sessions anyway on our semi-private program. And then I run through all the details. Sound good? Ready to start? My team and I can't wait to help you. And they generally shake my hand. On the odd occasion, I might get, oh, look, you know what? 200 is probably still a little bit steep for me. I know I said at the start, but it is a little bit steep for me. What else do you have? Okay, we have one package below that, which still gives you fantastic value. That's our silver package. Yeah, it's at $150 per week, and it gives you all these great things. The only difference, instead of being 4 semi-private PT sessions, it's 3. Everything else is the same though. Sound good? Ready to start? Me and my team can't wait to help you. And they shake my hand. Elijah, that just signed up, it's exactly the same process I went through with him. Exactly the same thing. And what did he sign up with? Silver. Make sense?
Why do you shake their hand?
It's a sign of agreement before the actual written agreement.
Okay. And you do that with
Everyone, male or female. But it's also like welcome, like how you going? It's like a nice gesture as well. I don't do a high five. I can't be bothered for that. Shake the hand. It's shaking of the hand, right? Before we had written contracts, when two people shook hands, that was like them giving their word. And a long time ago, your word actually meant something. Now in today's world, your word doesn't mean anything. Everyone lies. But back in the day, when a man and another man shook hands and said, I give you my word, they shook hands, they looked at each other dead in the eye. That's literally what I'm doing to them. You have my word, I'm going to support you. And they give me their word, they're going to commit to the program, even though they haven't verbally said it yet. Does that make sense? So that's why shaking your hand and eye contact is very powerful. So that's why I personally like doing it. Alrighty. Yeah, this one was a cool one. I used this recently and I'm starting to get better at it, and I love talking about it because it takes away from the kind of analytical stuff and goes into a bit more of the feels, right? People buy on how they feel. Yeah, you really need to understand that. People buy on how they feel. How good I'm going to make them feel is what's going to get them to buy. So for example, if I talk about nutrition, if I talk about Zenzino, I don't talk about the supplements. I don't talk about the testing. I don't talk about the great product. I talk about how good it's going to make them feel. And I talk about how other people in their same position have felt better from using the supplements. Are you guys with me? That's how you need to position it. So when we're talking about any kind of sales here or any kind of discovery call, we want to reframe with feel, felt, and found. Okay, so when you feel, you acknowledge their concern. When you're talking about felt, others have felt the same way, and found what they found once they started. Yeah, so this whole paragraph here, I understand how you feel. A lot of our members felt exactly the same way before they started. What they found was that training paid for itself because they stopped wasting money on things that never worked and finally had someone making sure they showed up. That's just a very simple example of feel, felt, and found. How those three words into a whole kind of response are able to shift that person with that reframe. And they need to understand that you acknowledge how they're feeling, but there are people that felt the same way. And what we found is that when they commit to our programs, they're actually able to achieve the results and then keep them because of what we teach them. Make sense? Now, you want to bridge to the next step. You want to never leave a resolved objection hanging in the air. So if you've done the hard work to resolve an objection, go for the kill. In other words, go for the close. Okay? Once you've addressed it, move straight into the next decision. So if we sorted the money side, what's stopping you from starting this week? So if Anna, you told me $300 a week was too expensive for you, which I completely understand, and we've gone on to a package now that works for you, that works within your budget, still gives you great value, you're happy with everything you're going to receive, what's stopping you from starting today? You're probably going to say nothing. So great, I'll make it even sweeter for you. We're on Tuesday of this week. I'll give you this week for free. If you commit today, you start paying next week, you start officially next week, I'll give you this week on the house. That gets them over the line even faster. Because now I've given them a bit of generosity, right? But in order for them to receive my generosity, they've got to make a commitment to us as well. So everybody wins. They start earlier, they get free training, they've committed to us, and I know that for the next 16 weeks, I've got this amount of money coming in from them. You guys with me? So that's how you can just jump to that decision pretty quickly. So at the bottom here, every reframe needs a bridge. Without it, you just want an argument, not a client.
You know, when you do that, has a client ever asked for more because you just offered that?
As an extra week?
Yeah, they want to make it have more of a discount or add an extra week or ask you for something else. What do you do then?
Generally speaking, when I get asked for discounts, all I say, and I cut it very quickly, I say we don't give discounts, we give great value and a result.
Okay, but with the extra week and they ask for another week, do you add on to that or do you?
No, I'm just very blunt with them. I say, look, you can wait till next week to train if you don't want to train for free this week. And they look at me. I'm saying, I'm giving you a free week. Don't try to hustle for more, right? Yeah. The hustling that somebody does is it's like a mind game. It's like a power game, sorry, right? They're trying to one-up me, so they feel like they have more on me. In my business, as the leader of my business, for me to make sure my clients respect me and my team and what we do, they can't win that power game. I know we're going to respect them and treat them like royalty. But if they win a power game for me in a consult, they're not going to respect everything that they do with us moving forward. And that's been the case in the past. That's why some people aren't with us anymore. So for me, it's really important for them to understand, hey, I'm being generous with you, but don't push it, right? I've given you, I've saved you $150, $200, $300 this week. That's enough. You didn't even ask for it. I still gave it to you, right? So for me, it's not so much about being rude or blunt about it, but it's like there's a strict line that I don't let anybody cross anymore. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I just thought because that opened it for that.
It could have. Yeah, it's happened in the past. I say, no, look, I'm giving you a week this week. If you don't want to train this week and you can wait till next week, it's fine. Oh, no, I'll start tomorrow. It's okay. They generally just jump to that. So it comes back to that firm belief in yourself as well. You know what I mean? So you don't kind of get scared about them leaving if they choose, if they go, oh, you're not going to give me a second week free, I'm not going to do it then. Okay, go. If that's going to be the attitude and I haven't even done anything yet, imagine what happens when they start. Do you get what I mean? So this goes back all the way back to things I like to think about when it comes to your own personal belief system. I firmly believe, and I will always believe this, I didn't for a long time, but once I did, my life became better, that I need to value my time way more than money. Those individuals that value money way more than their time will give it away for a lot less than they're worth, and people will take them for granted and they'll be resentful towards people. So as long as when you actually when you have more importance over the time you have versus the money you make, every single person that's going to take my time, they're going to pay me what I am worth, which is what my package prices are at, or else I'm not going to give them my time. I'd rather give it to somebody else who actually appreciates my time. In other words, a client's paying full price, or the price that's there, and they get my time because they appreciate my time because of the investment that they give me, and they're there, I'm going to give them 100% of me. Somebody that comes in tries to hustle me, they're not going to appreciate my time. Even if I give them all of my time, they're still going to find something that's wrong. So this is why whenever I sign up a client and I ask for a discount, so we don't do discounts. If you refer people, I'll give you some weeks for free, but we don't do discounts. And I'm very blunt with them. I said, we're going to work so hard for you, yeah, and you're going to expect that from us. We're not going to give, there's no discounts, and we're going to show you how hard we're going to work for you. That's it. Sometimes I don't even say that. Sometimes I just say there's no discounts, and I leave it at that. Can't, because we're family. I don't care. You're lucky I'm not charging you more because you're my family. You're supposed to be supporting me. You're my family. You should be paying more than everybody else. I said it to one of my cousins and he buckled. That's why he doesn't train here. Right? So to me, my time is so much more important than money, because it's those individuals that are worth, that pay what I'm worth, that will get 100% of me. They appreciate it. They love it. They get the result. I appreciate it. I love it. I love giving them the result. Everyone's happy. Do you get what I mean? So when somebody says it's too expensive, what they're really actually saying is this. They don't see the value yet, or they're not confident they'll follow through and get their money's worth. Right? If somebody's going to sit there and present a program or a package to me, and they're telling me it's $10,000 for this 12-week program, if I don't see the value, if I don't feel that the value of the program is worth more than that $10,000, I'm not going to let go of that $10,000. It's not the $10,000 that's the problem. I'll give anybody $10,000 if I feel that what they're giving me in return is worth more than $10,000. Do you understand that concept? So when I say to somebody, it's $300 a week for this coaching service, and all these things you're going to get in particular are going to be on this service, and it's going to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, the deluxe package, all these great things. If they don't believe that what they're getting and what they're receiving is worth more than the investment, they're not going to pay the investment. Right? So how do we shift that mindset? It's the way in which we deliver it and position ourselves before they've even inquired. It's the value that we provide for free before they've even inquired. It's a change we can get in their life before they've even invested in us, based on the free stuff that we put out there on my YouTube or on my Instagram. That's how you get people to value what you do and look at $300 a week as not too expensive, because the value that they're getting is worth, to them, it's worth more than the investment. This is why people say to me, well, you post every day, twice a day. Why? Because I get somebody coming in that is ready to pay that money because they've gained more value from me. They've gained value from me without ever spending a cent with me. I've changed their life with their health without them actually investing $1 with me yet. So when it comes time for them to invest, they're understanding that yes, the investment is $300 a week. That's $1,200 a month. But what they're going to get in return is, to them, is worth more than the investment. This is why somebody will spend that much money on a car, because they don't see that $100,000 on a car is too expensive. If they believe the value that they're going to get, how good they're going to feel in that new car, is worth more than $100,000. Do you get what I mean? Somebody goes and buys a house for $5 million. I would look at that and go, that to me isn't worth $5 million, so I'm not going to spend that. No, I don't have it. That's not worth it to me. Versus me going, okay, I can't afford $5 million, so I'm not going to look at that house. I'm going to look at what's more in my budget, right? But I buy a $1.5 million home because that $1.5 million is all I can afford. But I don't like the home I'm in. But I'm in the home because I've got to be in the home anyway. But I don't like the home that I'm in. So I lose anyway, because I don't even believe that the value of that home is worth 1.5 to me. Does that make sense? So when you look at what's too expensive, I always tell people expensive is an opinion, not a fact. And I firmly believe that. And I just gave you guys 2 examples of that, right? So, for example, when Anna first started training with me during lockdown, it was a session-by-session basis, and I was charging a discounted rate of $80 a session. She trained with me 3 or 4 times a week. I was nervous about charging her that much money because I was assuming that everybody that was talking to me before her was saying it's too expensive to afford that. I'm not working, lockdown, yada, yada, yada. She didn't even bat an eye. Yeah, cool, 3 times a week. Can I come down 3 times a week? What days can I lock in? I was like, holy shit, she just did it. I thought, fuck, mad. Oh, by the way, it's going to be cash. Yeah, cool, I'll have it ready for you. No issues. Why? Because what she perceived was expensive, right? It wasn't about the money. The value she was going to get from me was worth more than the money she was going to invest. You guys with me? This is how you need to make sure that the way in which you position yourself in the whole consult, but in my opinion, even before the consult starts, with what you put out there on your socials, needs to give value. This is why I started giving value so important. Why do you think I'm doing free talks? Because I'm trying to build 2 things, more value, more trust. So when people are ready to invest, who they're going to invest in? The guy that's given them value without them even spending $1 yet. Make sense? So when I do start charging for my talks, when I do start charging for my more for my services, they're not going to see this too expensive because they're going to feel that the value they're going to get is more than the investment anyway. Does that make sense? So it's definitely like takes time to build that momentum, but as long as you have the perception and that understanding of what's actually expensive is not a fact. It's just an opinion, right? My mate went to this restaurant, bro, it was so expensive. And I said, did you like the food? He goes, no. I said, that's why you found it expensive. So what do you mean? I said, if you like the food, you wouldn't say it's expensive. I went to the same restaurant as him. I loved that. I didn't find it expensive at all. And I actually spent more than him. I spent more than him. I loved the food. So I paid, I didn't care. And my Jess was like, that's a lot of money. I said, yeah, but I loved it. It was worth it to me. I'll buy meat. My wife has the biggest go on me for the meat that I buy. Anybody else will look at that meat as expensive. But when I eat it, when my son eats it, when she eats it, the rest of the family eats it, and everyone loves it, it's not expensive because the value of that was way more than what I paid. Are you guys with me? So don't look at things as too expensive for you. If it's out of your budget because you're not there yet, that doesn't mean it's too expensive. It just means you're making a logical decision about what's the right thing for you at the given point in time. But if you want to be able to earn, want to be able to afford what that, because that's what you want to get to, and you know the experience you're going to get from that is going to far outweigh how much you spent, you work towards that. That's it. It's not hard to do. You just got to work towards it. And we've all been there. I've had stuff where I'm looking at it going, I'm going to get that one day. And I've made it a thing where that's a goal now. There's a car that I want to buy. I know it might seem very superficial to you guys, but there's a car I want to buy, right? And I'm going to fucking get that car. And I'm going to work. The car's not important, but the point is I'm going to get that car. And the reason why I'm going to get that car is because of the fact that I'm going to show myself that I can shift my mind from I can't do it to I can do it and I earned it. Right? And then the value that I put on that car is, so the amount that I've spent on that car, the value I'm going to take that I have on it and how good it's going to make me feel to work for a goal and achieve it is so much more than what I've spent. Because you know what that's going to set me up to do? Find another big thing to work towards. Find another big thing to achieve. That to me is the value. That's why I love having goals, because it gives me the direction and clarity that I need. I work towards it, I achieve it. Whatever I spend the money on there, the investment there that doesn't bother me, because what I've learned far outweighs the investment, and what the potential of me to earn more is going to be more than the investment anyway. Does that make sense? So when somebody comes at me saying, Anthony, it's expensive, I ask that question. I know straight away, it's not about the money, it's about having the value yet. And what do I need to do to get them to see the value? So we look here, how we respond. I understand how you feel. Other clients felt the same before joining. What they found was that the money they were putting toward takeaway and quick fixes was more than covered, the training once they saw the results. If we covered that, right? So if we've covered that, what day works for you to start? Yeah? So some of the times we look at people going, okay, you've just given us your 3-day food diary. There's a reason why I ask for a 3 to 5 day food diary before somebody comes in for a consult. Because I want to see what they're spending their money on. It's not about trying to count their calories. I'm trying to see what they're spending their money on, because I'm going to use it, if I need to, for the objection that might come of it's too expensive. Hey, look, you did Uber Eats 4 times a week this week. That's like over $100 on Uber Eats. Imagine you didn't do Uber Eats, and that $100 there that you say you have, you put towards your health, right? And then you save money anyway, and you're prepping your food, you're feeling better, you're losing weight, you're feeling good. How would that work for you? Would it still be too expensive if you were getting those results? Everybody with half a brain would say, no, it wouldn't be too expensive. So what's stopping you from starting today then? I've just handled that objection, and I've gone in for the close again. Yeah? You know the amount of people that I try and close on Zinzino every day, like 5-6 times a week sometimes? Like, bro, why do you keep harping on about it? I said, because I believe in him. You feel like crap. I'm giving you an answer to stop you feeling like crap. What is stopping you? If I've told you that you can do it, and if you're not feeling it, if you don't feel any different after 3 to 4 months, and that you can stop it immediately, what's stopping you? Oh, you know what? I don't know if I have the money. Okay, then I go down the whole rabbit hole, right? I bridge that, I fix that objection, and I ask again. I fix the next objection, and I ask again. I fix the next objection, and I ask again. You're going to tell me to fuck off. I say, okay, I'll fuck off. I'll stop talking to you about it. But the second you tell me that you're not feeling well or that you're sick, we're going to have a conversation about your health. Because then you've let yourself go. And I don't want you to let yourself go, because then when it comes to your ability to look after your health, you're going to be worse for it. And as we get older, we're only going to get worse if we're not proactive with our health. Does that make sense? So I might not get it straight away. I might not get it after the 5th or 6th time, but I'll get it because I'm going to handle the objection. I'm going to go for the close. Make sense? I need to think about it, which is my favorite one, because they're really not thinking about anything. They're going to go back to thinking about the 4,000 things they have to get done in their day. They're not going to think about that PT. Fuck, he was a good looking bloke. He's really spun a really good sales pitch on me. And I love the sauna. I love that Islander girl that's at the front with the beautiful smile. I love that lady with the blonde hair that a little bit shy but really inquisitive and talkative. I love that Jack dude that was training on the gym floor. Man, I love it. They're not thinking about any of that. They're thinking about the 4,000 things I have to get done in that day as soon as I leave this gym. Plus the Asian that cut them off in the car park. So when I say they have to think about it, they're really not thinking about it. I've got to keep you guys amused to keep your attention. You know that, right? So what they're really trying to say is they're not the only decision maker, or something specific is still unresolved, and they haven't said what. Does that make sense? So when you look at it like that, especially that last part, something specific is still unresolved and I haven't said what. When you look at it from that perspective, you need to go back and resolve what was unresolved. And simple as the best way to do that is just to respond this way. That makes sense? Just so I can help, what part would you like me to clarify on before deciding? Right? The investment, the results, or how it fits in your week. The spousal version, it's great to have a partner in the loop. What do you think they'd like to know more about before you both decide? What do you think they want to know before you both decide? Oh, I just got to check with them, I run everything by them, we do everything together, we're a team. Actually not, the wife makes 98% of the decisions in the household. So it's only about the decisions around this kind of stuff that she may want his approval or he may want to check with her. So all I say is this, completely understandable. Having your partner's approval is really important. Making sure they're on board with this entire process is really important, and I get that, and I respect that. Answer me this, did I know you're here today? Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. Did they object to you coming today? No. But they told me don't sign anything until you want to buy me first. Okay, great. What if we did this? I'll give you all the information, okay? You go home, call me, and let me speak to him in front of you. Why? I said, because if you tell them everything that's going on, they're not going to understand the value to you and the value that we're going to bring you. But I can explain to them. Would you be comfortable with me speaking to them with you present over the phone once you leave here and go home? No, it's okay. We'll leave it. It's okay. I'll talk to him. I'll come back. How about we do this? You sound like you really care. You're still keen to do this? Do you feel like this is the right thing for you? Yeah, cool, it is. All right, great. Why don't we do this? And this is non-obligation. This is simply just making sure that you have commitment to us and we are going to have a commitment to you. We're going to sign you up, get everything set up for you, as if you're a paying client. I'll give you 24 hours to get back to me. You're going to call me tomorrow, tell me, Anthony, I'm in, Anthony, I'm not. If you're not, I'll cancel everything and you'll never get charged. If you say, Anthony, I'm in, at least it's all done and we can get you on board and ready to start as of Monday. What do you think? Make sense? Generally speaking, that goes down okay. Some people are going to go, look, I don't want to sign anything without my husband's approval. I say, look, you're not signing up to anything. We're just getting you set up so that when you do give us the tick of approval, because you said your husband's really supportive of your health goals, when you do give us that tick of approval, we don't have to about setting anything up. Everything's ready to go. If they keep making objections, no, I don't want to do that. No, I have to check with him. No, I don't want to do that. So, okay, great. Look, you've said to me your husband's or your wife is supportive of your health goals. Now you're telling me that you have to check with them. Now you're telling me that you don't want to do anything because you don't want to upset them. Do you mind me asking a real honest question? No, say, yeah, no, it's okay, of course, ask. What's unclear for you still? Because that's the real reason. It's the uncertainty of this program. No, it's all clear. It's all good. I understand. Just my husband is really, really like, he just controls all the finances. Totally understand. I'll do one thing for you. I'll give you a call tomorrow and we'll see if you're ready to rock and roll. I generally try and avoid that as much as I can, purely because of the fact that once they leave, that 9 out of 10 times they're not going to answer my phone call. They're just looking for a scapegoat. So I try and avoid that as much as I can, right? If I keep pushing the second, third, fourth, the best way to get them out of here is sign the stuff. You call me in 24 hours, make a calendar invite you. You're going to accept in front of me a certain alert, so you have to call me, and it's on your calendar, and you'll have my number to confirm whether you're in or you're out. That generally works, right? And if you spent the whole time doing that consult properly and you've got their trust, you've got their trust, they'll know that you're not going to sit there and start taking money from them without their approval. So that tends to work really easily. And what this does is it stops you from losing a potential prospect, but still keeps them engaged. And then if you've got another objection you've got to handle over the phone, you can handle it again over the phone. All right? Sales is persuasion. It's not tricking somebody into doing something that they're not going to get value from. Okay? I don't have time, or I've tried this before. How many times have you heard that? I've heard it all the time. Anthony, I've tried this stuff before, man, it doesn't work. And I said, well, you haven't tried it with me, so you haven't tried it all. And the only reason why it doesn't work is because you haven't tried it with me yet. And when you have a firm belief in what you do, that transcends you and speaks to the other person. If you have that approach of, yeah, I get it, like I know this stuff can be quite difficult, but look, let's just give it a try with me. What do you got to lose? That's not convincing in any way. That's not standing in a firm belief of how good you are and what you do and how much you're willing to help this person in any way. All right? So I was going, yeah, look, I understand how you feel doing stuff in the past with somebody else. I get it. You probably didn't get a good result. But hey, you didn't do it with me yet. This is what we do. This is the results that we've got him. You remind me of this kind I signed up 6 months ago that was saying exactly the same stuff. Look at him now. Look at the change. Look at the transformation. Look at the positive feedback. Look at the positive impact. This can be you. Right? That's one approach. Christy Sulios, trained with a guy, another guy that she used to train with. He ruined her health, such a negative experience, injured her, you name it, messed with her mentally, all that kind of stuff. And it took me a good, 3-4 months of just DMing her on Instagram. Video, voice memos here and there. It was strategic as to when I was doing it. She finally got in. We had a good conversation through the DMs first. She finally got in for a consult. The sign-up process was a 3-minute process. You know why it took me 3 minutes and not 2 minutes? Because I couldn't find a pen. That's how quickly and easy it was for me to sign her up. Because of the fact of I was understanding of her. I spent time to get to know her. And her objection was, I've done this, I've tried this before and it didn't work. Because of the fact of she follows our page, she sees the value, she's seen the transformations, we spoke to her about a lot of the stuff. So when she came in, she was already signing up. She wasn't wasting her time, and she wasn't wasting my time either, which was great. So I said to her, you ready? She said, yeah, let's just organize your goals. I went through the 4 most important things in her life. And I always do that on purpose because I want her to understand that what she's doing in the gym is so much bigger than just a bit of weight loss. Because I really want to put that at the forefront of her mind, that this is bigger than her, this decision, which is motivating for a parent as well. Knowing you're going to have a good impact on your kids and your family is very motivating for you to keep going. So I bring that to light. We get started. I explain to her the package. We rock and roll. Boom, done. Make sense? Now, when somebody comes and says to you, I haven't got time, there's almost always a priority objection, not a time one. People have time. We have the same hours in a day, right? And I firmly believe this. If a mother of 7 kids can get to the gym in the morning, anybody can fucking do it, right? If a mother of 7 kids whose husband doesn't do much to help her can get to the gym 5 days a week, anybody can do it. I don't care. Most of our members feel the same before they started. That's why our 45 to 60-minute sessions with a set day and time is a really good way to build into your week. How does that sound? Instead of saying, how does that sound? I would say, does it make sense? Because what it doesn't make sense, when you say doesn't make sense, you get a yes from that. The other one is I've tried before and I tried it before and it didn't work. They need proof that this is different. They need coaching, they need accountability. They don't just need like another program. So how I attack that is by 2 ways. You remind me of a client that I signed up 6 months ago. We've had an amazing change with her. And number two, I totally understand that. What were you getting in the past? Tell me a bit, just so I can manage your expectations. What was your experience like in the past? Excuse me. They're going to tell me every single thing that was negative about their old coach or their old experience, or their previous experience, I should say. And that's going to tell me everything that I need to not do with them, right? And generally speaking, it's the stuff that we do that they weren't getting. Accountability, coaching, help, guidance, expertise, support, environment, facility. Does that make sense? Most gyms don't do, most coaching services in our industry don't do what we do to the level that we do it at. And the ones in the area that try to copy us, I take it as a compliment to how good our service and our program and our product is. And the ones that charge it cheaper than me, I give them another compliment because they can't do it as good as me and charge as much as me. Now, a lot of our best results came from people who tried and failed elsewhere. Yeah? So these people that have come to us, who have gone to other places, haven't enjoyed it, haven't got the results, when they've come to us and have told us about this negative experience, in my head, and I communicate this to the team really well, in my head it's like we need to make sure that what we're telling them what we're going to do, which is what we do for everybody, but we need to follow through with it. Train them hard, get them a result, keep them here for long term. That's it. But number one as well, manage your expectations. We're not going to be calling them on a Sunday night to make sure they're booked in for their sessions. We're not going to hold their hand and go to the supermarket every day to make sure they get a sausage roll and they get a packet of eggs. We're not going to do that. That's on them. But we're going to give them the guidance and the support they need to get to make sure that what they need is there for them. Make sense? The other part is the difference here is someone is checking on you. There's not a plan. Like they're not left with a plan to do by themselves if they're being coached by us. There's a plan there for them that's put together for them by us, but there's someone to support them through the whole process as well. Now, objections are a skill and not a personality trait. A lot of people say, I can't do it like you. It's because you haven't practiced as hard as me. It's not a personality thing. I built the confidence in what I do because I practice it as hard as I do. That's it. Like I'm in front of the mirror, practicing. Jess goes, who the fuck are you talking to? And I just laugh because I'm practicing a consult that I have to do because I want to get this consult because my business surviving is dependent on me getting this consult. Does that make sense? And I'll go to that level. I'll practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice because I want to make sure that I've developed a skill that is so good. Anybody walks in this room, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have no job. You're going to find a way to pay. And believe it or not, I've done that with so many people who have no job that have found a way to pay. There are clients here that wait on their tax return, refund on their tax return, and use that money to pay for their PT. Yeah? Why?
They love it.
They love it, but even before that. You can love it, but you can't afford it and you won't do it.
Because they saw value.
Value. And obviously the results, yeah, but they saw value. Yeah? So when you understand that handling objections is a skill and not a personality trait, anybody has money for anything that they really want. If a crackhead can find money for drugs, right? If a crackhead can find money for drugs, anybody can find money for PT. Yeah? I firmly believe that. If somebody's got no money, can find money to put drugs in their system because they see the value in that for them, as sad as that is, anybody can do anything that or can be able to find the money or build the money to do what they want to do, as long as they see value, right? The people that have said to me, Anthony, I can't afford an extra $8 a week on PT, but they're paying Alex $180 for peptides multiple times in a year. I'm looking at them and you had a soak of $8 extra a week, a full-blown soak. But hey, like I'm talking like a month later after the soak, right? Hey, I bought Ready-to-Tide for like $200. Can you help me to use it? And I looked at him, you fucking spent $200, even think twice about it, but you soaked over $8. See what I mean? People have money where they see value. All we need to do is position ourselves as having
What?
All we need to do is position ourselves as having value, of being of value to the person. That's it. Number one, the best way is to get better at this. Role play weekly. Number two, we need to review real consults. So all my consults moving forward and all of his consults moving forward are going to be recorded. And the reason for that is because we're going to review them as part of our practice. Yeah? And the ones we're going to review hard are the ones that didn't go to plan. Not to embarrass him or to embarrass me, but to learn, to practice, to get better. And the third one is we're going to refine the way in which you do the consults all the time. Right? The consult process that we're doing at the moment is pretty on point. I just recently refined it, so it's pretty on point. However, there's always room to improve. And that's it for today. So I do appreciate you guys watching on YouTube. I do appreciate all of you being here today. Thank you so much.